Well, hello there, beautiful people. Welcome to Pretty Girl Loves Trap content. This is my recap slash review of Bel Air Season 1, Episode 7, Paybacks, BITCH. A little risque with the titles there. Okay, I am not mad at you guys, all right? So, y'all, let's start off with this episode, okay? So, it begins with Uncle Phil, okay? He's calling Will to his office, and Will is like, what did I do? But no, he didn't do anything wrong necessarily. Uncle Phil just wanted to have a little chat about Lisa and, letting Phil know, like, hey, we are, in the midst of this campaign run. Her father is running against me. So I understand as teenagers, you have the need to share and confide in each other. But yeah, I'm gonna need you guys to kind of stay away, okay? Because it's gonna get ugly, all right? And I'm like, Uncle Phil, you should have been telling him like this nasty you over there with Carlton's ex. But he didn't. I'm like, okay, Uncle Phil. But I low key like Will and Lisa together, so I ain't really mad either. So while Phil and Will is having this conversation, we see Lisa's punk behind daddy and her in the car. He's taking her to school and he's pretty much mirroring the same conversation. Okay. He's letting Lisa know, like, I need you guys to stay away from each other. I know the banks, they are very near and dear to your heart, but during this campaign situation, I need you to kind of stay away for a little bit, at least until after the campaign. So I'm like, okay, we'll see how this goes. They ain't go too far, y'all, because we see Will and Lisa. They are making out, okay, in school. I'm like, oh, excuse me. I don't know how many unlocked rooms y'all got in y'all high school, but yeah, there's a lot going on, okay. And they both shared and confided in each other about the conversations that they had with their parents or guardians, and yeah, they pretty much was like, we gonna keep this on the down low, down low. But Lisa was like, we need to tell one person, okay? And that is Carlton. We owe him that. We need to be upfront and honest. So yeah, we need to make that happen. So your boy, Will, he was like, okay, I'm gonna go ahead and tell him. So don't worry your sweet little heart, okay? So, she scurries off to class, and that is that, y'all. So y'all, we see Hillary, okay, and she goes to your Aunt Phil. I mean, Aunt Lord, Aunt Viv. All these Phils, Wills, and whatnot, y'all. Excuse me, but she goes to Auntie, which is her mom, and yeah, she's explaining the whole situation that she is going through right now. So apparently, your boy Kylo, he went ahead and yeah, he released and posted a sexy video of your girl Hillary. And she did not authorize it, but I don't know if she didn't realize it or not, but he has cameras all up and through the house. Okay. So he had his own version of the video that she was recording because she hasn't even released her version. She was still contemplating it. But yeah, your boy is savage. Okay. He is low key being a pimp up in there. I'm like, what is the contract situation like? Let us sister know, like, yeah, I'm not feeling that at all. But Hillary, she's explaining the situation to her mom, and she's like, hey, where's that? Because I need him to fix this. And, of course, he was in a meeting, and yeah, Hillary, she's want somebody to save her, okay? And her mom gave her some good advice. She was like, hey, your dad, he's always willing to fix whatever you have going on, but it's time for you to step up, girl. You grown out here in these streets, okay? So I'm gonna need you to fix your own little mess and leave daddy out of it. So she went ahead and was like, okay, mommy, I'm gonna go ahead and do that. So I'm like, yeah, Hillary, you're at the pool house now, girl. Get your ish together, all right? So Viv and Philip, okay, they are having a meeting with their campaign manager, who is played by Dwayne Martin. I can't remember his character name. I apologize. But yeah, he's pretty much showing Viv the numbers that they have to personally contribute to the campaign. All right. And she ain't happy about them numbers. Okay. She was like, is this really necessary? And yeah, your boy Dwayne, he let the cat out the bag and pretty much says like, yeah, should we deposit the money back into the account? So she was like, oh, pump your brakes, hold up, bruh. What you mean back in? So you already took this money out. So this wasn't you discussing this with me. You already made your decision. You're just letting me know. And of course, she is pissed. Okay. And I am not mad at her. Okay. This is a marriage. A marriage. Okay. We discuss all the things up in here. And he had the nerve to say, it's my account. Er? Okay, sir, what are these things on our fingers, bruh? We's married, all right? Now, don't get me wrong. I'm all for you guys having individual accounts, but the amount of money that it looked like took place in this situation, it needed a discussion, okay? So yeah, your Aunt Viv is pissed off, okay? But I must say, I like Dwayne Martin in this role. He just has this weird great comedic timing. So I'm not mad at your brother up in this show. All right. So yeah, we see Carlton, okay? He's at lacrosse practice and yeah, he ain't doing so well. He is doing a horrible job and yeah, he needs to get it together, all right? And so Connor, he is, being a jackass, okay? And he's giving a lot of racial insults, okay? Your boy said, yeah, at least this is one sport that they cannot take or steal from us. Characters like him, I swear I just wanted to come through the screen and just, oh, sorry, I had to contain my hands, y'all. But yeah, Connor is on my SHIT list, okay? And so your boy Carlton, he ain't woke yet. But he's waking up a little bit like a newborn baby, like wah wah. His eyes are, coming apart. Okay, so he proceeds to pretty much bum rush your boy Connor. Okay, breaking his arm or wrist or what have you. He broke something cracked up in there. I'm like, yes, Carlton, get your justice. All right, power to the people. I ain't mad at you, bruh. And so, he sees Will in the hallway, and Will was like, bro, like, I heard about what happened in practice. Like, what's going on? So Carlton was like, yeah, he had it coming. Like, I'm over it. I'm done. And so Carlton, he's pretty much feeling the blues. He says people are not feeling him in the school. Like, it ain't meshing. So Will was like, I have the perfect answer. Okay, we're going to throw the bombest party around. Okay, you want to get your credit up away from Connor. All right. So they're at the house and they're making all the calls. They're getting all the athletes, everybody in everybody's club. Like they are trying to make sure this is a shindig, all right? And so Carlton was like, I don't know about, mama allowing all these people up in his house. But Will was like, I got you, bro. I was like, really, Will? You gonna clean up after all these people? The nerve, all right? So yeah, this party, y'all. So yeah, we see, the parents talking. So Viv and Phil, they're having a conversation about, her still being pissed about the bank account situation. And she was like, yeah, the boys are having a party, okay? And yeah, have fun with that. He was like, what you mean have fun? She was like, I got some plans, okay? I am going to San Diego, okay? There is a art fair going on, okay? And yeah, I'm going. Peace out. All right. And so he was like, oh, this is how it is. She was like, yeah, this is how it is, bro. Okay. You are not the only one that can make decisions. Okay. I'm doing this for me. All right. I'm like, ooh, girl power. All right. This is Women's History Month, y'all. Time to turn up women's. All right. Justice for all. I'm doing too much. So yeah, your boy Jeffrey, okay, he's giving Uncle Phil the lowdown on your boy Reed, okay? He was like, yeah, your wife being at this situation, this little art fair, that ain't the problem, okay? Reed is the one you need to be worried about. And look, I took a look at his schedule. He's throwing this shindig, okay? And so Phil was like, she ain't tell me that. I was like, I don't know now. You treading a little too much, Auntie. Like, I don't know about this. So he proceeds to give Phil a file folder on your boy Reed. I'm like, ooh, what else we found out? Open it up. Let me see. Let me zoom in. What's going on? I need to know. All right. So we see Aunt Viv. Okay, she shows up at this shindig, and she's looking all cute and everything. I'm like, go ahead, girl. So she sees Reed, and she just gets this little spark. I'm like, Aunt Viv, this is dangerous. Abort mission, girl. Save your marriage. All right. Anywho, we see Reed over there, and he has a sea of women around him, and he sees her, so he leaves the women, okay? And he proceeds to let her know, like, hey, you got a lot of buzz and excitement going on, and yeah, everybody wants to speak with you. And she was like, I don't know, I'm a little nervous. He was like, oh, well, we can go ahead and get a little drinky drink to calm your nerves, all right? And so they proceed to have a little drink together, and he advises her that she is pretty much candidate for this fellowship that's going to require her to tour and travel. And yeah, she's all excited, right? Next thing, y'all, your boy Uncle Phil shows up, and I was just like, yes. I almost screamed at the screen, y'all. Like, that was the best scene ever, okay? And she was like, Philip, what are you doing here? And of course, Reed, he feeling a little way. But yeah, your boy came in, and it was all ego, but it was exciting. I was like, yes, get your wife, all right? And so now we cut to this house party, okay? It is on and popping. Man, in a backyard. I love that backyard. Like, Jesus Christ. I would have an event there every day. Just with myself. I don't want no extra people there. But yeah, everything's popping. Carlton, he's still a little iffy about it, but Will was like, hey, this is going to change your reputation, all right? And so we see Hillary. She is overseeing this whole situation, okay? Phil put her in charge because, yeah, he had to go save his marriage, okay? And so I'm being dramatic, y'all. Jazz shows up, all right? He's supposed to help with the DJ situation, but it looks like, your boy Will, he had it covered. So he was like, you want some company, Hillary? She was like, yeah, I want some company. And I'm like, ooh. But yeah, in the midst of this whole conversation, she is telling the people, like, you need to be out of this room and that room. And then they are traveling all over the house. I'm like, if that the biggest that backyard, like the whole party would have been in the backyard. Yeah, y'all have no reason to be up in this house. Okay, I would have a little tent set up with food and little chairs and tables. I would have porta potties, like even like open a pool house, maybe if you got to use the facilities and what have you. But yeah, y'all not about to be all up and through my house, like. No, at least rope off the stairs so they can't go upstairs. Something because no, we don't play that around here. Okay, people steal. No, thank you. So yeah, y'all. The parents, they have a conversation. So they're elaborating on their initial situation when Uncle Phil just showed up. And so your girl Viv was like, "What are you doing here?" And he was saying like, "Hey, I came here to support. I know I had some meetings, but you are more important, okay?" And your girl, she's getting all of the compliments, okay? Uncle Phil is doing a bang up job on showing up in this event, okay? He is telling her, like, you look beautiful, they killing that dress. We're gonna have some sexy time later. I was just like, okay. Look who come over there lurking. Ooh, black love. I'm like, ooh, Ree, you don't like that. So it became, a little testosterone contest, okay? And so Philip proceeds to lay all the cards, well, not all the cards, but most of the cards on the table, and pretty much was like, yeah, what is your interest in my wife? Because, yeah, I have these names here I'm going to list to you, and these are the names of the women that you so-called was, partnering with or mentoring with, and how are they doing? How's their careers going on? So it looks like your boy Reed may be like a museum swindler, something going on here. He probably prey on older women. Yeah, your boy ain't trustworthy at all, okay? But of course, Auntie was pissed off because she feels like he's overstepping his boundaries. Like, I'm trying to get my foot up in the game. You are cock blocking, okay? So yeah, you was doing great, Uncle Phil. Too, you had to just do too much, all right? You could have just left that alone and kept that in your back pocket. But I understand you was all built up in emotion, so I'm gonna let that slide, okay? So yeah, Lisa shows up to this party. You could tell just the oof between Will and Lisa. Okay, they just having a hard time keeping their hands off each other, trying to play it cool. But she was like, "Yeah, Will, did you tell Carlton yet?" He was like, "No, I didn't get a chance to. This has kind of been a rough day for him." So I get it. I get why he didn't want to tell Carlton about him and Lisa on that day. But yeah, I already knew Carlton gonna find out in the worst way. And I'm like stressed out the whole time trying to figure out when the hell Carlton gonna find out about this situation. I knew it was gonna be him seeing something. So I was stressed out the whole time, y'all. So yeah, your boy Will try to play matchmaker. Okay, we have Aisha there, and she's over there talking with Carlton, and they're having a little bonding moment. And she was like, "You pretty cool. Like your reputation is horrible, but you cool." He was like, "What you mean?" And she was like, "No, don't worry about it." He was like, "Hey, I'm built for it. Okay, I'm built for it tough. Go ahead and let me know what's on your mind." So she was like, "Hey, yeah, you're kind of looked at as a sellout. You never come to the Black Student Union meetings. You like lacrosse, all the white things. Like." You look like a sellout. And I really hate that because I hate when people label what is something that is black or deemed white. Like, I get it, we have our stereotypes, but I just hate when we are pigeonholed and, just really put in a box when it comes to, ethnicities and race and all that. Like, I feel like everybody should be open to anything. So, and that's that on that, all right. But yeah, your boy Carlton ended up being pissed off and he left your girl sitting there on the couch. So I was like, "Oh, you ain't really built for it tough, are you, Carlton?" Anywho, we see the parents, okay? They enter their little room or suite or what have you, and they proceed to have a very honest, candid conversation about how they've been feeling. Like Aunt Viv, she just unloaded a truckload of emotion and explained, "Hey, I've been having resentment. I haven't felt like you've supported me. Like I've put you first." Like they really had a great conversation. It seemed like it lasted for hours and hours. Like I was here for it, but I was like, "Whew, I need a drink." But she had one. So yeah, I was like, "Okay, girl, do what you got to do." But yeah, I really was excited about this conversation. Communication in a marriage is so, so, so important. So it's really good that they are displaying that, okay? And so we see, Hillary, she around the house kicking people out of different rooms. I'm like, one, y'all ain't locking these doors. Two, like, y'all got money. Like, where's the security? I'm just saying, okay? So her and Jazz kick some people out of, Uncle Phil's office and they proceed to make out. I'm like, I hope you ain't got no cameras up in there. But she grown, so I guess that's okay. So she gets a notification showing that Kylo is at this little, influencer party, which is great because he has been ghosting her, okay? Because she's been wanting that, that video down. So, your boy Jazz was like, "I'm down. I'm gonna roll with you." So they end up going to the party, and she was like pissed off and like, "Hey, take the, a video down." He was like, "Hey, the people are loving it, okay?" And she gets a few compliments from the party goers, showing that she's sexually liberated and what have you. And Kyla also mentioned, like, "Hey, there's some reps from Victoria's Secret here, and yeah, they want you to kind of show your secrets, if you will. All right, they want to, partner." So she was like, let me talk to them. And Jazz is like, "What's going on? Like, this ain't what we trying to do." So long story short, she leaves Jazz, has a meeting with the Victoria's Secret rep, and yeah, they end up building a partnership. They are willing to offer her $15,000 for a post. Okay, so yeah, I don't know about Victoria's Secret, but CoverGirl, I love the lipstick. Okay, any hair people, holla at your girl. I mean, I'll sell a highlighter if you need me to. I'm just saying. I am just saying, okay? Period, okay? In the words of the city girls, all right? So yeah, Jazz is pissed off and turned off, and I'm like, "Boy, calm down. Like, let her make her bread because you want her to be asking you for money." But he probably thinking like, "I don't want my future girlfriend out there, showing what she working with. Like, that ain't it. I don't want to be no Instagram, model." But You gotta let her do what she gonna do, okay? So yeah, Carlton, he's moping around this party. He ain't feeling it. And of course that makes it a drag for Will because that defeats the purpose of this party. And so Lisa kind of gives some insight onto Carlton and how he's always been kind of the oddball out, being African American in the Bel Air. He never really found his tribe, never found his people, so that kind of gives insight to, his anxiety and what's going on. But I still want them to, dig a little deeper and give us some more background of what Carlton has been through, okay? Because I still think there's some things that needs to be revealed up in here, okay? So we see Carlton over there sitting up in his room. Shout out to Brady, okay? He all, got the blues and what have you. So he gets a text from one of his friends who's like, hey, I'm in the game room. Come downstairs, all right? So, his little tribe from the lacrosse team shows up and, he was like, hey, I didn't think you guys would show up. He was like, we got your back, see? And so he sees Connor. He was like, what are you doing here, Connor? So his friends invited Connor because they want them to squash the beef, okay? And so Carlton was like, because I'm tired of the black comments. I'm tired of the Asian comments, the gay comments. Like, I'm over it, okay? So he was standing up, power to the people and whatnot. So, yeah, your boy Connor was feeling it, okay? He was like, I'm not apologizing. I'm like, oh, I guess this friendship ain't too important, okay? So he kicks Connor's behind out. Well, Aisha was over there like, I see you, boo. So I'm like, this may be a cute little couple. Like, she can expose them to the culture, like some boys in the hood or, something, some little culture-ish things. You guys know what I mean, okay? So, yeah, y'all. Will and Lisa, okay, they go into Will's room and they start, discussing things and, he's sharing a little bit about his mom and what have you. So she was like, yeah, I want to know all of your secrets. And he was like, what you want to know? Like, why are you really here? He was like, to have a good education, a better education, which was the script that Uncle Phil told him. And I agree that he kept it funky. Like did the right thing with not sharing everything because we still can't trust everything. I think he could trust Lisa, but you never know what that punk behind daddy up to, okay? And so she ends up, telling him like, hey, my real name is, Beulah. That's my first name. And so he was, kind of laughing, joking about it, which is funny because we know the original Lisa was played by Nia Long. And I remember the episodes when, she told Will her first name. I think it was the day they were supposed to get married or something. But yeah, it's cute how you put little tidbits of the original show in there. So, they're, discussing, how Will is, very brave for moving for a better education. But that's going to bite him behind because she's going to find out the truth and is going to be mad at him anyway. So it's a lose-lose situation up in here, all right? So he was like, okay, let's go back to the party. I'm like, y'all should never left the party. Will, you are the host. Carlton was over there. Woe is me. Who is like running the shindig? Like, no respect. Can't wait till he get older and realize you don't want people all up in your house and you ain't monitoring them. Like, come on. Like, what's going on here? All right. So Lisa was like, no, I'm going to stay here. Next thing we see, Carlton, he texted Will, telling him Connor showed up, but he handled it. Okay. He's like, where are you at? And so of course he don't see it, but yeah, he see Lisa. He see Lisa, and she was like, you know, giving him the little eyes. So they end up having the sex, y'all. And I'm like, Lord, this is too much, okay? So we come back to the parents, okay? And Aunt Viv was like, I need some space, okay? So I want you to go back home and I'm just gonna, revel in my thoughts, okay? So I was just like, girl, you got your man there. It could be a little vacation. Like, you kicked him out, Uncle Phil. You sure you want to do that? Like, y'all could have had a nice little cute, moment up in there, all right? So I was a little annoyed, all right? But your girl went to the bar and met Reed for some drinks to discuss this little fellowship situation. I was like, oh, you let your husband go home, but you over there at night meeting with Reed with some drinks. I mean, granted, it was at a little bar, so it was in public. But I'm like, danger, danger. Flag on the play, time out, foul. Like, girl, no, this is dangerous. And you already know, like, Phil kind of put some things on the table. Like, he ain't really trustworthy, but she's being naive. And I just pray to God. Aunt Viv does not go down that route. Like, I ain't got time for that, okay? I don't need no more scandals, all right? So back at the party, Will and Lisa, they, finished up. And so we see Carlton, okay? He's asking people, hey, you seen Will? Where's Will? Where's Will? And he looks at the stairs and a little intuition comes in, like, oh, I think they up there. But he gets a text from your boy Connor, you got some guests coming. I'm like, what you up to? Next thing we know, the police came in, okay? Oh, Lord. All bad, all bad. So they're pretty much asking whose house this is. He's saying it's my house. They don't believe him. I'm like, triggered, okay? And so we see Will and Lisa, they all laid up, and he notices the police lights, that are outside. And so he was like, oh my God, the cops are outside. And he was like, okay, I gotta see what's going on. She was like, well, let me come. He was like, no, stay here because your dad'll be mad because you ain't even supposed to be over here, girl. And she was like, no, I can help. And so I'm like, okay, girl, how you gonna help? All right. Ugh, I'm stressed out. So, Carlton, he over there getting harassed, hands behind your back. You know how they do us. And next thing we see Lisa and Will coming down the stairs. And she was like, no, stop, wait. My dad is the the chief of police. He's on the phone. He wants to talk to you guys. So, he lets, Carlton go. And yeah, Carlton notices that they both came downstairs. Will is kind of half dressed. And yeah, your girl Lisa, her hair was kind of a little out of place. You could tell they done did something. They was doing some wrestling or what have you. So yeah, Carlton looking at them. Will ain't helping, looking hella guilty. And yeah, I just feel bad because now Carlton's gonna think Will was setting this whole thing up so he can slide in through and be with Lisa. But that ain't happened. That did not happen, Carlton. Please don't think that, but I know you are. Y'all were just trying to do so good and be like a good little duel. And I'm like, I'm stressed, y'all, because this wouldn't work that well, but I guess it wouldn't be a show if it was supposed to, okay? But y'all, how did y'all like that episode? I enjoyed it. They're doing a swell job with this show. And yeah, I'm appreciating what they are giving. Like, in my opinion, like, honestly, I haven't seen a lot of reboots because I have a fear of, them being bad. But this reboot is probably the perfect example of how things should be done, okay? So shout out to everyone that has anything to do with this show, okay? Well, till next time, holla at your girl, okay? And we'll see what episode 8 is giving. Bye bye.